What's poppin', boys? Back again with another one, right? The shirt is pretty much still the same, but the day has changed. And the do-rag, all right? Let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about a six-letter word, a very dangerous six-letter word, and that is vanity. Vanity, vanity, vanity. I think it's one of the seven sins, along with gluttony and all of the other shit. I don't fucking know, but vanity, right? Um, Looks are not everything, right? But looks are everywhere. There's looks in women, there's looks in cars, there's looks in money, there's looks in house, there's looks in status. Everything the world that we live in nowadays, everything is portrayed to us in a look good way, in like the most opportune way. Like people's Instagram reels, they only show you the best parts of their lives, right? When you go out on a date with a girl, you only see the cutest face that she can put on, right? Whenever you get a car, whenever you see your friends rolling with a car, you only see like, the car is cleanest at its max, right? And honestly, it's not anybody's fault particular because even when you go out, I'm pretty sure your parents tell you make sure you look the best, make sure you dress the best, right? So you are always putting on a mask and we're always putting on a performance per se, right? But looks is not everything. You have to be able to look beyond or beneath the mask and beneath the vanity and see what substance is actually there, right? First point I want to touch on is particularly with women. Women live in a completely different world from us, absolutely different world from men, right? You can take this is the simplest and most easiest way to see that is on Instagram, right? It's almost suspicious if a girl follows me on Instagram or if a woman follows you on Instagram and she's following more people than she is followed, right? If an average girl on Instagram follows you and she is following more people than are following her, either she has no pictures or she's a catfish or it's a fake profile or it's a spam, right? Just in general, men are not going to be follower heavy on Instagram. Women will be follower heavy on Instagram because everybody wants to see women, right? When you go out on a date with a girl in North America, you maybe all around the world now, you take her out, right? You have to pay, you have to lead forward, right? You have to lead, obviously, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, absolutely not. But what I'm trying to make a point is they live in a completely different world from us, right? They live in a world of mostly vanity as well, right? We all live in the world of vanity, but for them, they are the object of desire, right? Which and for the object of desire, you have to throw money at that object, right? So women have to appear as if they're already having money thrown at them, whether they are or whether they're not. So you have to be able to look past a girl, look past a woman, and you have to look and see who is this person deep down inside. You know who you are, but do you know who she is? Who is this girl sitting across the table from you? Right? You have to really, and that's why like first dates are great, but like you're not able to really delve or ask a lot of serious questions on a first date. It's not until the third, fourth, fifth date when you've already spent, hopefully not, hopefully you haven't spent tons of money, but you've already spent or invest some time, some money into this person that you're now seeing, right? Rarely do you have these occasions where there are people who just click on the first date. It does happen, but it's rare, right? But you have to be able to ask questions that really poke deep into people's, like soul, so to speak. Um, you also have to remember. Sorry, I read the next point, but I didn't finish my first point. You have to be able to ask these questions that will get into people's personal space, right? And to do that, you have to look beyond the vanity and look beyond the beauty of the girl that's in front of you, right? You really have to almost think of her as not a girl, as somebody else. That way, you can get off of that, you can relax, get that anxiety, get that whatever, get that game that's in your head, get it out of your head. You can start asking real questions, but you're still in the game. That's the thing, right? You're still in the game, but you just have to accept that whether this works out or not, pretty much, you got to ask these questions almost as a screening for your own personal safety, mental health, and for the healthiness of your relationship or whatever you're trying to develop, right? Next point. Everyone is also thinking like you. Um, Everyone is thinking like you, so you have to be able to stand out. Um, when you go on a date with a girl, chances are you're not the only guy she's been out on a date with, and chances are the things that you say aren't going to really be different from what any other guy says. Sometimes the deciding factor between you, a really nice guy, and another person is maybe just their bank account, the car they drive, or just some form of status symbols. Some girls these days, or most girls these days, like 80%, maybe 90% of them, are very, very vain, right? They don't really look for much in a guy because they don't know what to look for. Society has really skewed gender roles so far that it's like, like girls don't really have that sense of like, male dominance, that domineering sense of like, masculinity that they seek for so badly. Not so badly, but that they used to seek for, or that was more prevalent or more what we were more used to, back in like 100 years ago, maybe. But times are changing, things are changing, and gender roles are definitely changing. So you have to remember that everything that you can present to a girl, another guy can also present it to her. Now, what makes you special? You are special because you are unique and you are you. You can you can only be you. Which is why if a girl's not interested in who you are, you should accept that and move on. You shouldn't try to become someone else for someone who is not as important as you, right? You should never, even for your parents, if your parents want you to become something you don't want to become, you don't have to do that because that's not you, right? So why would you do that for a girl, a stranger, a nobody that you just met online, in a library, at the gym, at the Y, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Why would you do that, right? So just remember, everybody is thinking the same way, and all guys out there are more or less behaving the same way, with an exception that there are a select few who know how to roll, and then you have the guys that just they're wealthy, they're well off, so they don't really need to put in as much effort as the average guy, right? That's fine. Whatever. Everybody's got their bag with something that they bring to the table, right? And if you don't have that, you don't have that. Don't be mad. It's just life. There's trade-offs, there's ups and downs for everybody. Trust me, nobody has a perfect life. On to the next topic is oftentimes all this effort that you put into talking and dating a lot of girls, you or dating a specific girl or talking to a specific girl, there comes a point when you realize that there's really nothing under her personality. There's nothing under her face value. There's no personality under her face value, sorry. Like there's no one behind the scenes, or the person behind the scenes or behind the face is really just an ugly person, right? And on the outside, she looks beautiful, but on the inside, she's just ugly to the core, rotten to the core, and just superficial. Those are the worst type of girls to be with. Girls that are just superficial. Like they're a fun ride. They're fun to like, like they're fun to hit and that's it. But like they're just so superficial. It's like these are the girls that go through relationships like, like they go through a box of chocolate or something. Like 1 minute you're their favorite, like 3 4 months down the line there's somebody else. Maybe it even lasts up to a year if she's trying to really test herself or push her limits, but she's so superficial to the core. You have on the flip side, now you have girls who are completely the opposite, and those girls are, maybe they're not too good looking up, maybe they're not hard on the, maybe they're not as easy on the eyes, but deep down they have substance to them, right? They have a sense of self, they have a personality that's nice, good to be around, not toxic. They're good at doing simple things, whether it be cook, cleaning, reading, like maybe she's good at science, math, whatever, whatever. Those are still things that are super attractive to guys, obviously, right? Super valuable commodities, right? And there's trade-offs at the end of the day, right? If you're with a girl that's like a smoking like 10 out of 10, but she's not able to do anything at the end of the day, you have to do everything. After a while, like just seeing her face just makes you feel sour. She can literally, she doesn't have to be ugly, but she will become ugly to you after a while, after you get to know that person who it is, right? So I'm always trying never to judge a book by its cover, and it's oftentimes the ones that are the sexiest, the prettiest, or whatever that have really nothing about them, honestly, right? Um, yeah. Um, Also, there's a lot of distractions and a lot of things that society sets out to trip us up, right? There's makeup, there's heels, there's tight fitting clothing. All of these things are designed to just help women, like be more attractive, I guess, or to push a certain type of agenda. There used to be a times when girls only wore like skirts and stuff. Um, those things have changed. Obviously, some guys love skirts. I love skirts, just simple blouses or whatever, whatever. But now we have leggings and all of this that shows off everything and everywhere, and that's fine, right? Quick tip is that most times when you meet girls and you meet a girl, always look and see if she has on heels, right? Heels will tell you that she's not as tall as she projects herself or as she presents herself, right? Remember, the first time you meet a girl, she always wants to present herself in the best light possible. And I'm not saying to tear that down, but I'm just saying recognize these little things so that you can see what the truth is behind her presentation, right? All girls wear makeup, or most girls wear makeup. My girlfriend, she doesn't wear makeup, right? Because she's beautiful without it. And when she wears it, nothing changes. So I tell her, don't wear it. Heels, like most girls wear heels to make themselves look taller. I don't know. It's like when you wake up with these girls the day after, then you kind of see who they really are. But you kind of already bid into it, right? You kind of already bought the ticket, right? So it's kind of a little bit too late. But needless to say, yeah, that's how it is, right? That's why a lot of girls, want you to wait before having sex after the first date. Maybe like they don't want to have sex on the first date, they want to have sex on the third, fourth, fifth date. So you're already locked and you're already committed. You've already invested into them, right? So I don't know. All I know is just look for the signs and be very aware, be very keen, and just keep an eye on these things. These are the small things that matter. The small details matter the most. So all in all, in my videos, I kind of want to reach some form of problem and solution, right? So I want to start identifying what the problem is so that the videos can be more clear cut and so that you guys can take away more from them. So for today, the problem is that you have to stop seeing the world through only your eyes. The solution is to see the world through interactions and the worth that people give themselves as well as the worth that they give other people. So, like I said, I'll repeat it because I was looking at my screen, my notes. The problem is you have to stop seeing women and other things and other things that are just simply vanities through your eyes only, because your eyes, even though they're great, they are deceiving. You have to start seeing things for what they truly are. So the next time you go on a date, you have to see a girl wearing makeup for what she truly is. Is there something she's trying to hide? Is there something she's trying to cover up? Is there something she's trying to compensate for? She's wearing makeup, she's wearing heels, all this tight fitting clothing. Is she insecure? Possibly about some things, possibly, who knows? You know? Um, the nice car is great, but like you don't see you don't see the car note that comes after. Most people don't buy a car full out cash, right? Like all of these flashy bling blings on Instagram is nice to see, but what is really underneath, right? So I want you to ask yourself these questions now when you go out in the world. Like, what really lays beneath all of this? And there's always something. If you dig far enough, dig deep enough, there's always something beneath it, because wherever there's a facade, there's a mastermind behind the facade that puts everything together, that orchestrates everything and makes everything come together into a believable, into something believable that you believe and you buy into. So what I'm telling you is, don't buy into it, don't believe it, and look for cracks or chinks in the armor. You will always find it, and that's exactly where you need to strike to blow away the illusion. Okay, guys. If you enjoyed this, let me know what you want to see next. Like, comment, subscribe, so that the algorithm can keep on doing its algorithm thing. Like I said, I still have some more stuff, some surprise stuff coming up for you guys. I know I'm delaying it, but it's coming out. Don't worry, right? I still got to focus on putting out these videos every single day. Um, Sometimes it's been every other day, to be honest, with the way my work schedule is, but I'm trying to keep on being consistent. Anyways, I don't want to take up much more of your time. Thanks for watching. Peace.